Hey guys, AntVenom here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. And today I'm going to be showing you guys the 13W01A snapshot, which is the first snapshot of 2013, hence the 13 in the title, and it is the first snapshot of the 1.5 Redstone update. So yeah, and if you guys want to mess around with the snapshot for yourselves, be sure to check out the link in the description below, because I am going to provide the map that I am using right now as a download link for you guys, so you guys don't have to go placing all the blocks yourselves. You can just kind of log into this world and mess around with it for yourselves. And as well, since there is a lot to do with the snapshot, if I do wind up missing anything, as always, I am going to provide information in the description for the things that I did wind up missing. So again, let's just go ahead and let's launch right into this here. So the first item on the agenda today is the daylight sensor, and the way the daylight sensor works. And as of right now, I currently do not know of a crafting recipe for it. I searched all around for it and could not find it, but I can only suspect that it involves the new Nether Quartz, which is a part of the update as well. I'll get into that here pretty soon. But yeah, I can only assume that it's created with that. And the way that the daylight sensor works is, as its title would suggest, is it detects the daylight that is in the sky and outputs a redstone signal that corresponds with the amount of daylight in the sky. So I have these command blocks here to set the various time between every 1,000 or so. So if I set the time to 0 here, you're going to notice, because there isn't a whole lot of daylight in the sky, you're going to see that not all of the repeaters are lit up here, and hence not all of the lamps are lit up here. So if I go ahead and I set the time to 1,000, you'll see a little bit more light comes on. If I set it to 2,000, a little bit more light comes on. 3,000, a little bit more, and then all the way to 4,000, where the last repeater is lit. And then if we drop a little bit of daylight out of the sky here, you're going to notice the time gets set to 12,000. You can see this repeater right here turns off, and if we watch it for a little bit longer, you'll see that as time passes, these repeaters are going to turn off. And in case you didn't see it, I'm going to wait for this one to turn off here. There we go. And then once we set it to nighttime here, the daylight sensor turns off because all of the daylight in the sky is gone. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's set time to 0 here, and let's move on to the next item on the agenda. So the Redstone Comparator is created just like this. It takes 3 redstone torches in order to make, and then has a Nether Quartz in the middle here, and then stone on the bottom. So just place this in a crafting bench as such, and that's how you get it. And you get the Redstone Comparator. And the way the Redstone Comparator works is it compares 2 different signals. So it compares one signal, the signal from the back, which is signal A, to any given signal that comes in on the side, which is signal B, and it's going to either output a redstone signal or it's not going to. And it's supposed to work in 2 different configurations. If you look at the torch in the front here, if you right click on the comparator itself, you see the torch goes away or the torch comes back. The way it's supposed to work right now, although it does not, is that if you right click on it and this torch is right here, or at least this is the way I believe it's supposed to work, if the torch shows up on front, it will output a full signal, and if you right click on it, it will only output the signal that it receives from the back. So it will equal the output that comes in from the back. So let's just go ahead and let's give myself a lever here. Let's just do this, and then I'll give myself some redstone. I'll do this here, and let me just go ahead and let me extend the line out quite a bit here. So if I go ahead and I bring the signal like all the way back to here or something, you notice that the signal no longer lights up as many repeaters. So that's the way this setting is supposed to work. And then if I were to right click on this here, it's supposed to output a full signal. But anyways, moving on here, the way that the comparator actually works is it compares the signal coming in from the back to a signal coming in from the side. And if the signal coming in from the side is stronger than the signal coming in from the back, then it will not output anything. So so as you can see here, because this only takes 3 pieces of redstone to get to the side, whereas the back one here takes 4 pieces, this side does not light up. But if the signal is equal to or if it's equal to or less than, so if the signal is weaker, if it's equal to or weaker than the signal coming in from the back, then it will not affect this at all. So what it's doing is it's just comparing 2 different redstone lines. So now there are, ways in the game to create things depending on the signal power, which is definitely going to have a lot of uses as time passes. So yeah, anyways, moving on here, the next item of business is the block of redstone. Now you guys might think, oh, this is a mod, there's mods of this, but there is actually a very defined use for the block of redstone, and it's created just as such. And essentially what it is it is a movable torch. So if you want to move a redstone signal anywhere you want, if I go ahead and I press this here, you see that now this one lights up instead of this one, because obviously the torch, well, the block itself has moved, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's how that one works. It just, this acts like a powered line. So yeah. All right, so the next item on the list is the trapped chest. And now, as you can see, it looks very similar to the regular chests, but around the actual lock, there is a little bit of red as if it had like a nosebleed or something. And when you open the chest, if I go ahead and I try and keep my view off to the side here, you're going to see that while the chest is open, it outputs a redstone signal. So if you're trying to, like, you know, create traps or something, then it can definitely have a lot of uses. And it's also noted on the wiki that there is no space block required between the chests themselves. However, that is not true. So if I go ahead and I take these trap chests here, if I go ahead and I set them down, you can see right here, they do actually require a space in between them, but if you place a regular chest next to a trap chest, and then you kind of alternate them as such, then they don't require a space in between them, so it can create some really cool looking things. So yeah. Alright, the next item on the agenda is the hopper. Now, this one only has an icon that shows work of progress, but let me just go ahead and let me take both of these out here. And the way that it works, as you can see, I have a little bit of a demo set up back here. Let's go ahead and let's grab a wooden block as well. Is any items that are dropped into it, let me just go ahead and let me grab a stack of stuff as well. Any items that are dropped into it will, if they're connected to a chest, they will drop the items into the chest. So as you can see here, I have the bedrock right here. If I go ahead and I spam them like really super duper fast into here, and then I right click on the hopper itself, you can see that it is subtracting them at a rate of like 2 or 3 per second or something like that. And then it eventually deposits all of them into the chest. So the way that you can point the hopper itself into different directions here, because if I were to just place a hopper down like this, and then I were to place a chest like on the side or something, let me go ahead and let me shift click that, it won't automatically attach itself. So if I were to do this here, if I were to toss some into the hopper, it would not work. You see they're kind of staying in the hopper and they're not going into the chest. So the way that you want to configure the hopper, if you want it to face a different direction, is that you want to place it on the side you want the hopper to go on. So if I want the hopper to place to face sideways, I'll hold shift so I don't open the chest and I'll place it. And now you can see on the bottom there, the little funnel is pointing into the chest now. So if I go ahead and I do this here, let's you know, a different sideways angle, just like that. However, you can't be clever and you can't do it like on the top or something. That unfortunately does not work. Doesn't work that way because the moment you place a chest on there, you can't do that. So if you guys are thinking of trolling the hopper, doesn't quite work out that way. And if you want to place it on top, you can just place it right on top and it works just fine. So yeah, that's the way that works. And it can store up to 5 items at once. So you can't put things in too fast, but I don't really imagine it being a problem for normal uses. So anyways, moving on here with the Nether Quartz. So this is a new item that has been added into the game. You can see there's the Nether Quartz ore, which randomly generates in the Nether now. So if you guys generate new chunks in the Nether, you're going to see these that are going to pop up. And when you mine them up, you're going to get the Nether Quartz. And they're going to be used in various crafting recipes for new redstone items. And it's also like an incentive to actually go into the Nether now. So yeah, moving on, the recipe, there is now a recipe for nether brick. So these are just regular nether bricks here. The way that you get these nether bricks, yeah, it's kind of weird because there's nether bricks, there's like nether bricks, and then there's nether brick blocks. But if you go ahead and you take nether rack and you put it into a furnace, you're going to get these regular nether bricks. And then if I go ahead and I put these into the crafting bench just like this, there we go. Now we have nether brick, another brick. It makes so much sense. I can only imagine when 1.5 comes out, this is probably going to be called the nether brick block. So yeah, that's what I would imagine. So anyways, the last item on the agenda are weighted pressure plates. And we have 2 different kinds of pressure plates. I didn't actually look into a crafting recipe for these, but I can only guess they're made just like this. Let's see if I'm going to guess this correctly here. No, okay, that's not how they're created, but I can imagine that's probably, oh, wait a minute. There we go. Duh. Okay, so it only requires 2 gold ingots, and then the iron ones only require 2 iron ingots. And let's see here. So there are 2 different kinds of weighted pressure plates. There's the light one, which doesn't require that many items to be put on it. And then there's the weighted pressure plate heavy, which does require a lot. And essentially the way these work is they detect the amount of detect the amount of items that are in a stack. So if I go ahead and I place this 1 down here, it only outputs the 1 on here. If I go ahead and I put down 2, it doesn't. If I start spamming them down, you're going to see that the signal is going to grow stronger and stronger until it will eventually reach that repeater. But if I try and spam them down on this one here, I spam so many more because it's a heavy one, you're going to notice that it takes a lot to even get 2 out of that. And if I go ahead and I spam down another set of items here, as you can see, yeah, it takes a lot before it'll finally hook up to that repeater. Even that wasn't enough. I need to spam down some bedrock and stuff. Yeah, just spam down all the items. Yeah, there we go. Jeez, yeah, so you can see the comparison is definitely one to be seen. So, yeah, wow, that pretty much covers absolutely everything. There's a couple of notes that I've added to the end here, as I always do. Redstone circuits are now more consistent, and pistons are more stable with this update. There's faster moving when holding the right mouse button while you're in your menu. So if I go ahead and let's just see here, let's do this here. If I go ahead and I shift and right click, I guess it moves around quicker. Shift to left click, yeah, it moves stuff around quicker. This one's a little bit more noticeable. If you double shift click items, it'll, like if you have, as you can see here, I have these all weird. If I double shift click, if I hold shift and I double shift click really quickly, it will take all of the items that match that item in your inventory and put them all into the same stack. So you have to double click pretty quickly, but it does work. It's really, really cool. I like that feature a lot because I find myself doing stuff like not stacking my bowls in Extreme Ant Farm Survival. So definitely a very cool option. And if you double shift click on the inventory of a chest, it'll empty, or if you double shift click on stuff that's in a chest here, then it will empty that into your inventory. Let's see if that works. I imagine it means something like this. So if you have them spanned up like this, double shift click, yeah, it'll do the same thing. So I don't think it meant, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, whoa, if I hold right click, it like puts them all into different slots. That's so weird. I don't know if that's intended, but that's really cool. All right, let's go ahead and let's mess around with this here. So I just want to confirm. There we go. So if I do this, so if I double shift click, it'll place all of the redstone into my inventory. If I double shift click that, it'll place all of the nether brick into my inventory. So, yeah, again, as always, if I have wound up missing anything with this snapshot review, then be sure to check out the link in the description below. As always, I will note things that I have missed. Yeah. So anyways, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. And again, if you want to check out the snapshot review for yourself, the link to download the snapshot is in the description. The link to this map is in the description. The link for everything you're going to need is in the description. So if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you know of people who are going to be checking out the snapshot, feel free to share the video around. Or if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. Just rate it the way that you want to. So anyways, guys, hope you all have enjoyed this video. My name is AntVenom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.